My name is Miles, and I'm 25 years old. 3 weeks ago, my grandfather passed away and left me $9 billion. You'd think that would be the best thing that ever happened to me, but you'd be wrong, because the moment my parents found out, they turned into people I didn't recognize. I was sitting in my grandfather's lawyer's office when Mr. Harrison read the will. "Miles, your grandfather has left his entire estate to you," Mr. Harrison said, looking at me over his glasses. "That includes the company holdings, real estate portfolio, investment accounts, and liquid assets totaling approximately $9 billion. I couldn't breathe. $9 billion? Yes. He was very specific about his wishes. He wanted you to have everything. That's when my phone started buzzing. My mother. I answered. "Miles, we just heard about the will!" Mom's voice was shrill. "We're coming over right now. Don't sign anything. Mom, just wait for us." She hung up. 20 minutes later, my parents burst into Mr. Harrison's office. My father, Richard, was red-faced and sweating. My mother, Patricia, had that look she gets when she's about to demand something. "This is ridiculous!" Dad shouted. "That money should go to his children first. We're his actual kids." Mr. Harrison remained calm. Mr. Thompson made his wishes very clear. Miles was specifically named as the sole beneficiary. "But we're his family," Mom said. "Miles, you have to share this with us. We're your parents." I looked at them. Grandpa left it to me. He must have had his reasons. Dad stepped closer. "Listen to me carefully, son. That money belongs to this family. You're going to transfer it to us, and we'll manage it properly." "Manage it?" I asked. "What does that mean?" "It means we know better than some 25-year-old kid what to do with $9 billion, Dad snapped. Mom grabbed my arm. "Sweetheart, we're not asking. We need that money. Your father has some business opportunities that require immediate investment." "Business opportunities?" I pulled my arm away. "You mean like the 3 businesses you've already bankrupted?" Dad's face turned purple. "Those were not my fault. I had bad partners." Mr. Harrison cleared his throat. "I must ask you both to leave. This is a private meeting between Miles and myself." "We're his parents!" Mom shrieked. "We have every right to be here." "Actually, you don't," Mr. Harrison said firmly. "Miles is an adult, and this is his inheritance. Please leave, or I'll call security." After they left, Mr. Harrison looked at me seriously. "Miles, I need to warn you about something. Your grandfather specifically mentioned in a private letter that he feared your parents would try to take the inheritance from you." "He knew?" "He knew exactly who they were," Mr. Harrison said. "That's why he left everything to you. He trusted you. But he also warned me that they might try legal action, intimidation, or worse. What should I do? First, sign these documents to secure the inheritance. Second, I'm going to recommend an excellent attorney who specializes in estate litigation and fraud. Her name is Jennifer Marks. Third, document everything your parents say and do from this point forward." I signed the documents with shaking hands. That night, my parents showed up at my apartment. Dad pushed past me when I opened the door. "We need to talk," he said. Mom followed him in. "Miles, we've thought about this carefully. We're willing to let you keep $1 billion. Give us the other 8. "Let me keep?" I stared at them. "It's my inheritance." "You ungrateful little brat," Dad shouted. "After everything we've done for you." "Everything you've done?" I laughed bitterly. "You forgot my birthday for 10 years straight. Grandpa was the one who raised me." Mom's eyes filled with fake tears. "How can you say that? We're your family. Then why do you only care about me now that I have money?" The next morning, I called Jennifer Marks, the attorney Mr. Harrison recommended. "Miles, thank you for reaching out," Jennifer said when we met. "Tell me everything." I explained the situation. Jennifer took detailed notes. "Your instincts are correct to be concerned," she said. "I've seen cases like this before. Parents who feel entitled to their children's inheritance often escalate." "Have they made any specific threats?" "Not yet, just demands." "They will," Jennifer said grimly. "I want you to start recording every interaction with them. It's legal in this state as long as one party consents. That's you. Also, I'm going to run a background check on your parents' finances." 2 days later, Jennifer called me urgently. "Miles, you need to come to my office immediately." When I arrived, she had documents spread across her desk. "I found something disturbing," Jennifer said. "Your parents are $3 million in debt. Credit cards, loans, failed business ventures. They've been living far beyond their means for years." $3 million? I felt sick. "There's more. I found an email chain between your parents and someone named Thomas Winters. Do you know him?" "No. He's a lawyer. Not a good one. They've been discussing ways to contest your grandfather's will. They claim you manipulated him when he was mentally incapacitated." My blood ran cold. That's a lie. Grandpa was sharp as a tack until the end. I know, but they're planning to file a lawsuit claiming undue influence. They've also approached your grandfather's doctor asking for medical records. Can they do that? They can try. But here's the thing. I contacted the doctor first. Dr. Evans is willing to testify that your grandfather was completely competent. In fact, he wants to help you. The next day, I met with Dr. Evans at his office. Miles, your grandfather talked about you constantly, Dr. Evans said. He was so proud of you, and he specifically told me he was worried about your parents. He talked about them? Yes, he said they were greedy and irresponsible. He made me promise that if anyone questioned his mental state, I would tell the truth, that he was absolutely sound of mind when he made his will. Would you be willing to testify to that? Absolutely. Your grandfather was my friend. I won't let them tarnish his memory with lies. That evening, my parents called me. Dad was on speakerphone. Miles, we're giving you one last chance, Dad said. Transfer the money or we're filing a lawsuit tomorrow. You can't contest a valid will, I said. Oh, can't we? Mom's voice was venomous. We have a lawyer who says we can. We'll claim you manipulated Grandpa when he was senile. He wasn't senile. Doesn't matter what's true, Dad said. Matters what we can make a jury believe. This will drag on for years. Is that what you want? Just give us the money. No! Mom started crying, fake crying. How can you do this to your own mother? I carried you for 9 months. And Grandpa actually raised me while you two were too busy spending money you didn't have, I said. Dad's voice turned cold. You're going to regret this, Miles. We'll destroy you in court. We'll tell everyone what a manipulative little snake you are. Try it, I said, and hung up. I immediately called Jennifer. They just threatened me. I recorded everything. Perfect, Jennifer said. Now I need you to do something else. Call your Uncle David, your dad's brother. I looked into him. He's had his own issues with your parents. I hadn't spoken to Uncle David in years. My parents had cut him off after some family argument. Miles? David answered, surprised. Is everything okay? Uncle David, I need to talk to you about Mom and Dad. We met at a coffee shop. David looked tired but kind. I heard about the inheritance, David said. I'm guessing your parents aren't taking it well? They're threatening to sue me, claiming I manipulated Grandpa. David shook his head. That sounds like Richard. Let me tell you something, Miles. Your father borrowed $50,000 from me 5 years ago. Never paid it back. When I asked for it, he cut me out of the family. I didn't know that. There's a lot you don't know. Your parents have burned through every cent they've ever had. They're toxic, Miles. Your grandfather knew it. That's why he left everything to you. Would you be willing to testify about Dad's financial irresponsibility? In a heartbeat, David said. It's time someone stood up to them. 1 week later, my parents filed their lawsuit. The local news picked it up. Parents sue son over $9 billion inheritance. Jennifer was ready. We're going to countersue for harassment and frivolous litigation. But first, we're going to have a meeting with their lawyer and them. Let's see if we can make this go away. We met in a conference room downtown. My parents sat with Thomas Winters, their sketchy lawyer. He looked nervous. Let's get right to it, Winters said. My clients believe they have a strong case for undue influence. Jennifer smiled coldly. Really? Based on what evidence? Based on the fact that Miles spent considerable time with the deceased in his final months, Winters said. You mean he visited his loving grandfather who raised him? Jennifer opened her briefcase. I have here a sworn affidavit from Dr. Richard Evans, who treated Mr. Thompson for 15 years. He states unequivocally that Mr. Thompson was of sound mind until his death. Winters paled. That doesn't prove... I also have phone records showing that Miles's parents hadn't contacted their father in over 2 years before his death. Interesting, isn't it? They ignored him until they found out about the will. Mom stood up. That's not true. We loved him. Sit down, Mrs. Thompson, Jennifer said. I have emails between you and your husband from last year. Would you like me to read them aloud? The ones where you call him a stubborn old fool and say you're waiting for him to die so you can cash in? The room went silent. Dad's face turned white. How did you... he started. Cloud storage is amazing, Jennifer said. You should be more careful about your digital footprint. I looked at my parents. You wrote those things about Grandpa? Mom reached for me. Miles, that was taken out of context. Don't touch me, I said. How could you? Jennifer continued. We also have evidence of your financial situation. $3 million in debt, multiple bankruptcies, a pattern of financial irresponsibility spanning decades. Winters was sweating now. This is all circumstantial. Is it? Jennifer pulled out more documents. Because I also have a recording from 3 days ago where Mr. and Mrs. Thompson explicitly threatened Miles. They said they would destroy him in court and make him regret not giving them the money. That's extortion. Dad jumped up. You recorded us? I did, I said. Every conversation since you first demanded the money. You little... Dad lunged at me. Uncle David, who'd been sitting quietly in the corner, stepped between us. Touch him, Richard, and I'll make sure you're arrested right here. Security guards appeared at the door. Jennifer had arranged for them to be present. Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, Jennifer said calmly, you have two options. Option 1, drop this frivolous lawsuit immediately. Sign a document agreeing never to contact Miles again and walk away. Option 2, we proceed with our countersuit for harassment, extortion, and attempted fraud. We'll make sure every newspaper knows what you tried to do. We'll expose every lie, every threat, every manipulation. Mom started really crying now, not fake tears. Miles, please. We're your parents. You're people who share my DNA, I said, but you're not my family. Grandpa was my family, Winters whispered urgently to my parents. They argued in hushed voices. Finally, Dad spoke. What exactly would we have to sign? Jennifer slid documents across the table. A complete release of any claims to the inheritance, an agreement to have no contact with Miles, an admission that the lawsuit was without merit, and a public apology to Miles for your actions. Public apology? Mom gasped. Would you prefer I send these emails about your father to the media? Jennifer asked. The ones where you celebrated the idea of his death? Dad grabbed the pen and signed. Mom followed, tears streaming down her face. Miles, you'll regret this, Dad said as they stood to leave. No, I said, I really won't. 2 weeks after my parents signed the agreement, Jennifer called with news. Miles, I wanted you to know, the State Bar Association is investigating Thomas Winters for ethics violations. He apparently has a history of coaching clients to file fraudulent lawsuits. Will he lose his license? Very likely, but there's more. The IRS is also looking into your parents' finances. Those business bankruptcies? Appears they've been committing tax fraud for years. I sat down heavily. How did that happen? Once we started pulling records for the case, certain irregularities came to light. I'm obligated to report potential tax fraud. The IRS moved quickly. 3 months later, my parents were indicted on multiple counts of tax evasion and fraud. The trial lasted 2 weeks. Uncle David testified. Dr. Evans testified. Jennifer presented all our evidence. I sat in the courtroom every day, watching my parents squirm as their lies were exposed. The jury deliberated for 4 hours. The verdict, guilty on all counts. My father received 7 years in federal prison. My mother received 5 years. They were also ordered to pay $2 million in restitution to the IRS, money they didn't have. After the sentencing, my mother tried one last time. As the bailiffs led her away, she called out to me, Miles, please, you have to help us. You have $9 billion. You can pay for good lawyers. You can... I stood up and walked out. Jennifer followed me. How do you feel? She asked. Honestly, I feel free, I said. For the first time in my life, I'm free of them. Your grandfather would be proud of you, Jennifer said. I think he would, I agreed. Uncle David met me outside the courthouse. You did the right thing, Miles. I didn't want it to end this way. They chose this, David said firmly. They chose greed over family. They chose lies over love. You just chose to protect yourself and honor your grandfather's wishes. The next day, I visited my grandfather's grave for the first time since the funeral. Hey, Grandpa, I said, sitting on the grass beside his headstone. I hope you're not disappointed in me. I know family is supposed to stick together, but they didn't leave me much choice. The wind rustled through the trees. I imagined I could hear his voice. You did good, kid. I've spent the last few months setting up a foundation in my grandfather's name. We fund education programs for underprivileged kids. Kids who, like me, need someone to believe in them. I think Grandpa would like that. People ask me if I regret not just giving my parents some money to make them go away. The answer is no. They didn't want some money. They wanted control. They wanted to take what Grandpa specifically gave to me. And more importantly, they wanted to erase his final wishes. I learned something important through all of this. Justice isn't the same as revenge. Revenge would have been me trying to hurt them. Justice was me standing firm and letting the truth come out. I didn't send them to prison. Their own actions did that. My grandfather spent his life building something amazing. He chose to trust me with his legacy. Honoring that trust meant protecting it from people who would have destroyed it, even if those people were my parents. Sometimes the hardest thing in life is standing up to family, but sometimes it's also the most necessary thing. Have you ever had to stand up to family members who tried to take something that rightfully belonged to you? What would you have done if your own parents demanded an inheritance that wasn't theirs? Like, and subscribe for more stories about people who refused to be victims and fought back the right way.